So we're going to start with some, hopefully, a lot of review when we talk about linear functions. And then tomorrow, maybe even into Thursday, we'll do the piecewise linear functions. Just because it's good to make sure we have that background information. All right, so you may recall that in the past, when we talked about linear functions, we had we had a bunch of formulas, but three kind of major formulas. We had a formula for the slope of a line, which was the difference in the y values divided by the difference in the x values, often referred to as rise over run. This middle equation is a way to calculate the y-intercept given the slope and 1 point. So this b is the y-intercept, and you take your y value minus the slope times the given x value. And then, of course, our slope-intercept form of an equation, y equals mx plus b. And this, probably since algebra 1, and maybe even before, you've talked about slope and y-intercept and y equals mx plus b and all sorts of good stuff like that. So, of course, now in college algebra, we're going to change it. We're not going to change it that much, and actually it's equivalent. It's just that you may see it different ways in the textbook or in different textbooks. So we just want to make sure we're comfortable with the different terminologies and the different notations. So some books and your graphing calculator, if you use linear regression, they'll do the y equals ax plus b. So you might see a as the slope. It's the difference in our function values. Again, f of x2 minus f of x1 is just the same as y2 minus y1, just in function notation rather than variable notation over x2 minus x1. So that, again, that's slope. Using that function notation, we take the y value at x1. So that's just f of x1 minus a times x1. So this is to calculate the y-intercept. And then instead of y equals mx plus b, you could see it as f of x equals ax plus b. So it's just another notation of what we've been doing for a long time. A couple other things when you're talking about linear functions that you may want to remember. If we have parallel lines, that just means they have the same slope. If we have perpendicular lines, they have slopes that are opposite reciprocals, or their slopes multiply to give you -1. A couple of different ways that you can say that opposite reciprocal thing. So for today's lesson, your problems are going to look like this. Find the equation of a line through the points 3, 2, and negative 9, 6. And we are going to write our answers in slope-intercept form. You can choose, you can write it as y equals or f of x equals. They mean the same thing. One just means a function of x, the other actually means the function y in terms of x. So they do mean the same thing. But in order to write an equation in slope-intercept form, we need to know two things: the slope and the intercept. So if we use our formulas to find the slope, our formula says take the difference in our y values divided by the difference in our x values. And what do we get for the slope? Four over negative 12, which we can reduce to negative 1/3. To find our y-intercept, we need to pick one of those 2 points. Which point do you want to use, the first one or the second one? The first one? All right. You can use either, and I'll show you that it works here in just a moment. But that said, take the y value minus the slope times the x value. I don't know, maybe you remember, I think we maybe did this in Algebra 2, where we did y equals mx plus b and substituted into that formula and solved for b. Here they solve for b first and then they plug the values in, but it's the same idea, same concept. What is negative 1/3 times 3? Negative 1. So I have minus a negative 1. That's the same as plus 1. My intercept is 3. So my equation, either y equals negative 1/3 x plus 3, or f of x equals negative 1/3 x plus 3. Either one is correct. Just to show that that works with the other point, if I use my other point, it would be 6 minus negative 1/3 times 9. This isn't good. Negative 9. There we go. I'm like, wait a minute. The negative matters. So it'd be 6 minus 3, which is 3. Oh, wait, that's not going to be good. Keep track of those negatives. All right. How about this one? Find the equation of a line through the point negative 2, and 4, 2. Process is the same. I think I get a slope of 2/3. Yeah, seeing some yeses, that's good. My y-intercept is negative 2/3. So y equals 2/3 x minus 2/3, or plus negative 2/3 if you would like, or f of x equals 2/3 x minus 2/3. A couple other things, and then we're done for the day. If you have an undefined slope, so let's say we wanted the equation of a line through the point 2, 3 and the point 2, 5. So when we go to find our slope, it's undefined. That equation is just x equals our x coordinate. Zero slope, I think, is a little bit easier because you can actually use it in that formula, but a zero slope where we go 2 minus 2 over 5 minus 3, 0 over 2. That is just y equals the y coordinate. So 0 times x would cancel out. Okay. I don't remember seeing any like that, but I wanted to make sure to mention it again. So your assignment on page 376, make sure you're in section 55A. It's the top half or the top part. And I didn't include any of the ones where they give you the graph. It's all, here are a pair of points, find the equation.